Into this game, obviously this is kind of something that has been a goal for you guys throughout the year. How exciting is it to now be where it is game week and you are preparing for this game specifically?
It's very exciting. We've been working since pretty much January and through all spring ball, all summer, and we worked to get to this point. So to finally be able to get that opportunity on Friday, it's definitely exciting.
Before you would come in here, Coach had been saying that no one really knows the price that goes into getting a chance to lift that trophy come Friday night. So how rewarding is it for you guys to just even have that opportunity to be able to put in the work to try and get there?
It's very rewarding. I mean, because you spend a lot of hours. It's a lot of hours, with guys on the team and just training in the summertime and the fall camp practices in the heat. It's just there's a lot that goes into it. So, and then just all the hours during the season. And so to be able to get that opportunity, I mean, it's definitely just rewarding. And obviously, hopefully we could get it done Friday.
I apologize if this is a little broad, but how have you kind of seen through the duration of this season the offense go from maybe struggling the first 3-4 weeks to now going for over 500 yards and 50 points multiple times the second half of this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think sometimes you kind of have to just get a rhythm, and I think in some of the early games, I think we just there were like sometimes I think penalties was kind of hurt us, and I think even just going back to spring ball, like we didn't really have like a fully healthy offense, obviously because there were just guys coming back from injuries and stuff, but. I honestly think sometimes it takes a little bit of time, and then it eventually will just kind of click. And I think once, we kind of got to that midpoint of the season, you kind of saw that we kind of started to click a little bit more.
And we've had a lot of opportunities to ask you about backs like Wayne and Jordan, but what has it been like blocking for Joby? What does he kind of bring to the table?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a freight train. He runs downhill. It was awesome to see him break the long touchdown on Saturday. But I mean, he's awesome. He's just another downhill runner, and it usually takes more than one guy to get him to the ground. So kind of like all our backs, it's pretty fun blocking for him.
Have you maybe noticed, or how much growth, I guess, have you noticed in terms of Zoe's pocket presence and just feeling the pressure?
Yeah.
There were a couple throws on Saturday where he would step up in the pocket and kind of make a throw on the run. Where have you seen him grow in that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, I think just and again, I think for him, it's just it's hard when you don't really get like those reps just in spring ball and stuff like that. And he works so hard to get back, but I think once you actually get those game reps, I mean, you just see how well he's moving, and obviously, I mean, I think he's done a great job with just kind of being able to move through the pocket and kind of make plays.
We've had good conversations one-on-one about how Chelsea's been able to build people up off the field, build players up off the field, not just players, and see them as men. Where have you kind of noticed, his ability to do that maybe different than coaches, and how he's been able to connect with some guys?
I mean, I think that I just think especially once he got here, I mean, we knew the situation of just a lot of new faces, and that's not something that's easy to do. You have a lot of new guys coming from different programs with, kind of just different styles of coaching, and so to have that many new faces and to be able to no, you're good. Just to be able to, just kind of bring guys together. And really he kind of just meets with guys one-on-one and just starts to build those relationships. So, I mean, I think he just does a good job with that of really just getting to know guys, know their families, know their whys. And, that kind of is really where he starts it and then just builds it together as a team.
Pat, what have you seen out of Troy as you guys have started game planning for them this week?
Yeah, I mean, they I think it's kind of similar to Washington State with some of the stuff. Like their D-line moves a lot. They're kind of, especially interior, like the D tackles will kind of do some read stunts and different things like that. So I think some of the pictures, like just watching the film so far, some of the pictures, like they move a lot. So it's obviously I think we have a good game plan going in, but I think they do some good stuff with movement, and then personnel wise they got some good players as well. And I mean, obviously they're here for a reason. They play really hard, and it's obviously going to be a tough test for us.
Can you talk about the significance of being able to play this game at home and what kind of an advantage that can give you all?
That's huge. I mean, I think any chance you can play in Bridgeport, that really goes to our advantage. And, I mean, you just see, this place every time we play here, just it's so loud, and, the fans bring the energy. So I think to be able to get a chance to play for a Sunbelt championship at home, like that's a pretty big deal.
When you came in, obviously you were coming off some injuries and had some ups and downs at Holy Cross, but it seems like you've been so consistent. What has it been about your 2 years here to maybe even have you become a better player now than you were at Holy Cross?
I'm only 24, so not to pull the old card. But I think I've gotten more wise of just like knowing how to take care of my body, as crazy as that sounds. But I just think, over time you kind of just learn different things. You learn what works in terms of just how you recover, how you do certain things. For me, just knowing how my body feels, like you just kind of learn every day, just kind of how that stuff goes. And, I just think over time I've just kind of figured out like what works for me. And then also I just think just playing a lot of games, you see a lot of different things, and just over time it's like you kind of just learn a lot more the more you keep playing. So I would say just from a health standpoint that plays into it, and then just a lot of reps. So there's just a lot of experience I have, so that definitely helps.
You've won some championships with Coach Chesney in the past.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about I guess that was the expectation coming here too, wasn't it, coming with him, and this is only what you expected to happen?
100%. I mean, that's just pretty much been the standard from the day I stepped on campus as a freshman a long time ago. And then obviously once I got here, I mean, there already was a winning standard, and so that didn't change when we got here.
Really knows what the price is to get to that point and win a conference title, but how rewarding is it to be able to have the work to do and have that opportunity to try and get it?
Yeah, it's been awesome. This comes on a short week, and I think we're ready for the challenge. But, going through regular season play has been a challenge for us and getting through it. But, we're just blessed for this opportunity to come out and play in front of our home crowd on a Friday night. So we're here for the challenge, and we're ready for it.
As someone like who was recruited when it was FCS school initially, right? But how kind of, in hindsight, especially as a Virginia kid, maybe who's watched JMU like on TV as a middle schooler, as a high schooler, like how far, as a cool to see how far this program maybe has gotten to compete for a conference championship in the Sun Belt?
Yeah, it's awesome. I remember watching, YouTube videos of when they were FCS and watching them against, different teams and seeing how cool their uniforms were. And, it's definitely being from Virginia, this is definitely a place you want to go to. It's just great to see how, we're being talked about on a national level now, and, how big this school can go. This fan base, this community, everything that's here is just amazing, and it truly shows what type of school this is.
I know just when we've talked in the past and when I've talked to your parents in the past, you guys have all kind of echoed just how important family is to all of you. What is it like to be able to play this game and have the opportunity to see you play this game?
Yeah, it's awesome. They come to every single game. I remember my freshman year, they missed one game, and I got in on kickoff, and they were so mad that they didn't come and see it. So having this be so close to home and them coming to every single game, and we have our rituals. I see them before the game, after the game. We take our pictures, we take our photos. But, even for someone like Trent, our families are close now. He's a Virginia kid, and Jay and everybody that stayed here through that time, it really has become a family between the guys in the locker room and everyone who's come in and just buying in. So yes, it's good to have your family, very close, but this team is a family, so it's been really good so far.
What are you seeing so far from Troy on tape?
Good team, definitely a good team. Their quarterback was out with a low collarbone, but he's come back. He's done his job, and they work for their West Side championship. So they definitely have a chip on their shoulder, and they're coming in trying to beat us. So. Gonna have to put in some work this week and go from there, but definitely a very good opponent, so we're ready for the challenge.
Are they different with him at quarterback now that he's been back the last couple games?
Yeah, I feel like their backup is a little bit more of a runner, a little bit smaller. Gets antsy in the pocket, but this guy's good. He likes to make tough throws, and you can just see it on film. He's poised in the pocket, but definitely has the element of running as well. They do a lot of 11P, 12P, 13P to change things up. Got some good running backs, some good wide receivers. So definitely presents a challenge, but, we're ready for it.
What was it about this staff when they came in? Obviously, you decided to stay. Could you tell right away that this staff was different and it was going to be the right fit and they would lead you to where you're about to go?
I think so. I think to start, I thought that energy that they had every single day was a little bit fake, but it's definitely not fake. They bring it every single day, and their enthusiasm through practice, through walkthroughs, through meetings is just outstanding. And, every coach that has come in, and Coach Whitley, who has stayed, has just been open and honest with all of us and transparent. And, my coach, Coach DeMike, he was a former player, so he understands what we're going through and how it is from day to day. So you could definitely tell that, they had their sights set on something. So, we're just trying to prove it right now.
Obviously, it was a great year last year, but could you get a vibe even early in fall camp throughout the off season that this year was maybe going to be a little bit different? Did you have a different feeling early on?
Most definitely. I just think this team was together more and more tight than last year. I think last year was, could have definitely went better. We don't think that was a good season, honestly. But this year, you could just tell during the summer and during the fall camp, just the amount of run fits that we were doing, the amount of extra meetings that we were doing, the intentionality of what we were doing through everything is just it's so much greater with Coach Hitch coming in and all that stuff. So it definitely had the feeling of something that could be special, and we just had to go out there and prove it.
There's obviously lots of rumors, lots of talk. Things are out there about your coach, the college football playoff, everything like that. Is it hard as a player to stay focused with all that? Again, you went through it earlier, a couple years ago, but is it hard to go through this and not have that on your mind?
I think if you choose to get away from it, it's not that hard. My phone's on Do Not Disturb all the time, so I have my parents. They can text me and call me, but outside of that, it's kind of just the noise is the noise, and you can't really worry about it. So, we're focused on doing our job this Friday, and whatever happens after that happens after that. So, just got to put the work in this week and go from there.
You nodded over there that it didn't matter to you that it was Troy after not getting a shot at them a couple of years ago. But just in general, can you talk about not getting the opportunity to play in those championship games, even though you won your division, and now getting to that point?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a weird rule for teams coming up, that 2-year buffer. But we knew what team that we had those 2 years that we probably should have played in the championship. So you have those 2 years because usually teams aren't as good as we were coming up. But no, it just makes this even sweeter coming in. It's my final year and most of these guys' final year. So to play in this championship at home with our crowd behind us is just a special feeling. So we're ready to go out there Friday and go put on a show for the fans.
You talk about the fans already and just being at home for this game. Can you talk about the significance just and the boost they give you all and how that can factor in to Friday where the stakes are the highest?
Yeah, they play such a huge part into what we're doing on defense specifically. So when they cause chaos and havoc for the other team to not be able to hear, their own coach and their mic and, not get formation set and stuff like that, it helps us so much, Maybe I can't hear my other safety beside me, but, we know the signals, so we're good. But, they play such a big part in what we're trying to do here at home, and that's why we've been so successful at home. So, I know they're going to show up and show out on Friday, and I'm just so excited to be under the lights with them.
Trent, just with your journey here and being here your whole career, what does it mean to get to play this championship game?
Yeah, I can't wait to go out there and play, especially with it being home, another last opportunity to go out there and play in front of Bridgeforth, in front of our fans. I can't wait.
And I don't know if everybody asked JT something similar. Just what's it like to be able to have your family so close, getting to watch you play in this game that you've probably been waiting your whole career to play in?
Yeah, like he said, man, the families is really what we do it for. That's my why. My group that comes out and supports me every single week. I was going to be excited to go out there and look at them right after we run out the tunnel, one last time before the game. That's why I always make eye contact with my people and all the other families who come to support, families that we've grew up with these past 4 years. They all have become extended versions of my family. So I'm excited to go out there and do it for them.
Coach Chesney was talking about that no one really knows the price of the extra work that's required to get to lift that trophy on Friday.
Yeah.
But to even have the opportunity this week to put in that extra work to try and get there, how rewarding has that been so far?
Yeah, we talked about that last week, during Thanksgiving week. A whole lot of teams aren't really playing meaningful games, even the game that we just played versus Coastal, we're just thankful for being able to still be able to go out and have purpose for what we're doing. We're just not going through the motions, going out to practice. We're still practicing with, intent on going to achieve our goals.
I want to ask you the same question I asked JT, just like as a Virginia kid who's maybe watched JMU when you were younger.
Yeah.
You could probably maybe imagine that it would be an FCS school that would get to this point, but now in hindsight, like how cool is it to kind of see the progression of this program?
Yeah, it just feels really good, man. I'm a sucker for a good process, man. I love, watching things grow and building and just creating, and I feel like that's what we've been able to do at this program. Even when we came in my freshman year, we've already been established as a dominant program in the state and in college football, but to be able to build on that and enhance the program, it has been something special.
And kind of a similar type of question, but in the macrocosm of this year, I think a lot of us have seen that consistent improvement from week to week, and that's allowed y'all to have such a great win streak. What is it about your coaching staff that has allowed for you guys as players to grow every single week?
The coaches believe in us. It's really a whole lot of stuff that the players do. It's the buy-in that we have. Obviously, they bought in and they lead us every single day. But it's the guys in the locker room. It's how we go about going through the extra reps, the stuff that, like you said, the stuff that you guys don't see, the stuff that we're doing outside of practice, getting up for extra meetings, extra film with the coaches, even players film. In the back end of the season, we've been coming up on our off day as players, as defense, sitting in the staff meeting and really watching those extra plays and just getting extra tells, and that just goes to show what type of team we are. That's offense, defense, special teams. Everybody's stealing extra reps and extra work to be the best possible.
Talk about Troy a little bit.
Yeah.
What have you kind of seen from them the last couple of weeks as you flip on the tape?
They're a good football program, just talking about who they are, who they are in the conference, and they're confident. They're a confident, inspired group, and they go out and they play hard. They play physical. They have talented guys at every spot, really. But, we're expecting them to come in and play us tough, just like everyone else does when they come to Bridgeforth. And, we expect it to be four-quarter fight. We don't expect it to be any type of lay down from them, anything earlier, because we're playing for the marbles. So we expect them to go out and give us a good fight.
How big is it having played a Washington State team that seems like they have some similarities to Troy in terms of what they do?
Yeah, definitely. We've been seeing a whole lot of comparisons on film, or even just with personnel too, what type of players they have and how they're coached and how they approach the football game. They're definitely similar to Wazoo. So I'm glad that we got to play them recently too. In the back end of the season, hard physical brand of football. So now we're accustomed to that. You know what I'm saying? These past couple of games that we've been playing have been more physical football teams. So I'm glad that we've had that experience to be able to go into Troy this week.
In terms of preparing for a game like this, is there more transparency in the locker room as far as just like guys talking about future plans, whether it be players, coaches, things like that? And does that help in actual preparation for the game?
Yeah, all the guys are, sold on this week on how do we get better every single day, and how do we continue to, do what we do every single day and all the extra stuff and keep it intentional on going out and winning this week. You know what I'm saying? So we talk about every single day this week about how can we go to holding up that trophy on Friday. How is that going to look and what the preparation is going to take leading up into holding up that trophy on Friday.
Talk about just the fact that this game is at home and the significance of that and the boost that the home crowd gives you all.
I mean, like I said, I really can't wait to go out there. Bridgeforth is always packed, even on a regular game. But for this conference championship, I feel like it's going to be truly electric out in the stadium. And I just can't wait till the end of the game, man, with the confetti coming down with all our families and all that stuff. That's really what we're going for this week. That's the image that I keep putting in my head when I close my eyes before I go to sleep, is hoisting up that trophy in front of all the fans.
How about this year for you, just being your last year?
Yeah.
All the trials and tribulations you've had to go through, sticking through the coaching change that happened, to now be one of the main leaders on this team. This kind of be your defense. Does this all mean a lot more to you? Are you taking this in every time you go on the field?
I mean, definitely. It's a full circle moment. Last game, in the conference, it's the big one, senior year, all the stuff that you said. But, I just got to take it day by day and just be in the moment. That's really what I've been trying to be, is just be in the moment with my brothers so I can do my job and be able to lead them, be the type of leader that they need and be able to go out there and perform and have a clear head. And I just feel like, keeping myself, being where my feet are at, has been able to keep me successful in that regard.